everybody, it's Peter Zellums, Griniflix Adventure 8, and welcome to another video. Yes, I have started another tour going out into Central Australia. The idea is to go across the Simpson Desert, and if time permitting, even venture across to Western Australia, maybe even do part of the Canning Stock route as well. No doubt I'll be able to update you as I go, and yeah, alright, so probably as a first video, let's talk about the camera gear that I'm using my old GoPro 9 here, filming there. I have my GoPro 10 as well, and my main cameras will be two main cameras, and I'm shooting Leica for this trip. And they are the Leica Q2 and also the Leica SL2. With the SL2 I have two lenses. I got the 24 to 90 f2.8 lens, Leica. And when you go to 90 it changes progressively to f4. And I've also got the Sigma 35mm f2 contemporary series. Yeah, so the choice of cameras, I wanted to travel fairly light, so okay, my two GoPros are going to be the main filming cameras, but then also the SL2 as well as the Q2 both have pretty good video capability as well, all shooting 4K, so I hope to do some of that as well. When I'm doing the Central Australia trip, it's nice to have multiple cameras, particularly, and not have to change lenses during the course of the day. So I'm anticipating that basically the two cameras I'll be using for stills will be the Q2 during the day, and also the SL2 with the 24 to 90 zoom. That will give me basically every shooting parameter. The SL2 being pretty high megapixel means that if I need longer reach, I should be able to crop in the image depending on what I'm shooting. In the evenings, when I'm doing low light shooting and night skies, then the 35mm f2 may well come into consideration also. I've also got my DJI Mavic 2, so my drone. I'm looking forward to using the SL2 as well as the Q2 out here in Outback, Australia. It can get quite dusty and sandy. There's been a lot of rain around the place, but I think that's going to be around the coast. It's really cleared up now. So both the Q2 and the SL2 are weather sealed, so quite resistant to dust, which is good. Dust and sand, yeah, dust and sand are going to be the two issues out in Central Australia. Yeah, so I've been driving since 9 o'clock this morning. It's just after 2 p.m. now. 5 hours, and probably done about 400 odd kilometres. So this first part of the journey is quite long, going from Sydney to Birdsville, sort of allowing 3 to 4 days to get there. That's the rendezvous point with my friends before we cross the Simpson Desert. Well, it's been a long day. What is it? It's 7 p.m. now, and next major town is still a couple of hours away, so I'm hardly sure what I'll be doing as far as my accommodation. I'll be one place somewhere between here and Burke. It's probably about an hour away. I think that might be a campground as well, so I'll be camping out tonight. It's exciting. The sun is just probably about half an hour over the horizon, I'd say, but half an hour before sunset. Might be able to sneak in a couple of more photographs later on. Typical of Australia, I mean, there's been a lot of rain in the east, but only about a week ago there was fires through here. Not sure whether you can actually see through there, but anyway, a lot's been burnt out. There's still some remnants of smoke around the place. You can see with the sunset coming here, it's turning really quite red because there's a lot of smoke in the air still. And there was a property back there also completely burnt out, just the shell, just the chimney stack remaining, and everything else just burnt out. It's a real shame. No doubt that would have been a house that would have been over 100 years old, burnt out. And then we're in an area where the fire didn't touch the landscape. There's been a lot of rainfall in Central Australia and also in the country areas, and then over summer a lot of vegetation and a lot of grass is growing. Then over summer a lot of this grass has turned completely straw colour and dry, so it doesn't take much for a fire to occur, and then just fire to just go everywhere. So I had a look on the internet, so if we get some reception, see whether there's any accommodation available in Bourke. And no properties were available at all. Oh well. Okay, we'll just have to improvise. Thought I'd get a nice little quiet location, and guess what? We've got a whole bunch of semis pulled up. And there's another one coming now. It might pull up as well. It's like this is a meeting spot for semi-trucks. Oh well. It's all fun. Ended up sleeping by the roadside at a small little town called Coolabah. So this morning I went to Bourke, did some more shopping. I think I've got the right supplies now. Not sure whether I'll still be able to get to Birdsville tomorrow, but we'll see. We'll try and get as far as we can today. Accommodation is hard to get, booking it ahead, so I'm just going to do another camp, I think. That way I can just sort of drive as long as I'm up to it into the evening, get as far as I can today. and sleep under the stars, which is very nice. And then tomorrow do the final leg to work, meet up with my friends. Temperature outside right now is about 30 degrees Celsius. Yeah, so that's the update. It's a sealed road all today, so it's a bit boring, but I guess it's just a matter of maintaining your concentration, having a number of breaks along the way, and everything should be okay. You're gigantic. Yeah. So yeah. And then you need to go back in the mud. It was much cooler there. There is so much activity, but you have to get really close to stuff, and that's, I guess, where the Q2 comes into its own. And since it's got micro or macro as well. Alright, so heading off now. It is warming up, it's getting close to 30 degrees now, and it's about 8 o'clock in the morning. So I imagine it's going to get much hotter as we go. Alright, air conditioning time. Turn on the air conditioning in the car and everything will be fine. Oh, we're on an airstrip here, so no planes about in the air, so I think we're all okay. One of the most important services out here in Central Australia is a Royal Flying Doctor Service. Yeah, so you basically got to find airstrips left, right and centre to help out the locals that live in Central Australia, and it's not unusual for these roads to double up as an airstrip like this one. So if you feel like donating any money to a charity, then that's probably a good one to donate to if you're in Central Australia or anywhere in Australia actually. They offer an outstanding service, and I think a lot of people wouldn't be able to live in rural Australia if it wasn't for the Royal Flying Doctor Service. Give them a thumbs up. I have a link there in the video where you can make donations to the Royal Flying Doctor Service. This is funny. I mean, this is typical of Australia, big open spaces. So when there is something of interest, like a point of interest 1 kilometer ahead, you really have to look out for it. So what do you think it might be? Let's go look. Okay. I found the point of interest. And you can just see there's an arrow just there on that sign there, and it's pointing to a hole through the hill on Mount Henderson. So I'm gonna have to get out the other camera to have a look at Mount Henderson. It's over there. We'll get my Leica out, SL2 with a 90mm lens, and see whether I can photograph it. Another point of interest to this point of interest. We'll see how long that lasts there. I'll ventilate sticker. The busy season for Central Australia is between April and September are the best months when it's cooler. Yeah, so that's when the traffic really starts. So the shoulder season is March and October and November. So the Simpson Desert opens up on the 15th of March, which is today. And there's been very little traffic, very little traffic. So last 3 days, actually yesterday and today, it's really only local traffic and trucks, big semis. I've seen 1 or 2 tourists, that's about it. Alright, well, we're about an hour away from Birdsville, so that's good. An hour and a bit maybe. And it's been a long drive. We ended up doing about 2,200 kilometres from Sydney. Give or take 700 kilometres a day. Driving, 3 days driving. Yeah, so it's still hovering around 39 degrees Celsius. So it's definitely warm during the day. At least it cools down at night and makes sleeping a little bit easier. Looking forward to catch up with Frank and Brigitte from Munich in Germany. They've already set up camp at the Birdsville campsite, hanging out for a beer at the Birdsville Hotel. Yeehaw!
You made it.
Incredible, isn't it? On time too. Look at this.
Yeah, I was having a look at the watch every 5 minutes.
Yeah. Is it going to be
checking the phone and everything. Good to see you.
I know, it's amazing, isn't it? 3 days of driving to get here.
But you have now 2 days of rest.
Yes.
We go on the big ride tomorrow.
Okay, right.
But just a test drive.
Yeah.
Go back for that test.
40 degrees outside. Is it hot enough?
Yeah, it's getting better now. Camping over there.
Ah yes, the blue stallion.
Monster Blue. It's called Monster Blue.
What is it?
Monster Blue.
Monster Blue.
Yeah, maybe you know this series about Yukon Gold. And they have washing machine, and one is called Monster Red.
Monster Red, so this is called Monster Blue.
Yeah, you can have any place here. Maybe you check out the place later.